A man once leaned across a glass-top dining table and whispered to his wife, "You are nothing without me. This empire breathes because I created it." What he did not know, what he could never understand, was that every line of code in their platform, every profit-bearing clause in their contracts, every sleepless night soldered to success was hers. And when he finally tried to erase her name, he forgot an ancient truth: a queen who builds with her mind never truly loses her crown. Welcome back, family. May wisdom, courage, and abiding peace settle in your heart as you join me for tonight's story. Breathe deeply, lean closer, and let the tale unfold. Thunder cracked beyond cracked library windows, rattling dust from fluorescent barrels. Beneath that flicker storm of artificial light sat Amara Okoye, a scholarship student whose wallet rarely held more than coin dust and who considered hunger an unpaid teaching assistant. Microeconomics textbooks splayed before her the way battlefield maps sprawl beneath generals, ink, arrows, equations. She pinched the bridge of her nose, inhaled the stale scent of 8-hour coffee, and solved another pricing equilibrium puzzle for fun, to some, masochism, to Amara, meditation. She heard footsteps, hesitant, rehearsed. Daniel Olumide, rumpled blazer, cologne attempting to mask cheap cafeteria onions, hovered with a practiced half-smile. "Hey, seat taken?" Amara gestured silently. Daniel dropped into the chair, exhaling like he'd sprinted a mile. Pages rustled. He stared at a 3D supply-demand graph as if it were hieroglyphs. After minutes of futile skirmish, he confessed, "I'm drowning here." I hear you're brilliant." Amara studied him. Charisma curled around him like a scented scarf, but his eyes, yes, those eyes betrayed panic. She pushed her notebook toward him. "Let's swim together, then." And so she explained elasticity in a language tremulous enough to crack the shell of his ego yet gentle enough to keep him afloat. Words unfurled like silk banners. Daniel's shoulders relaxed, he began breathing in sync with her cadence. Outside, thunder subsided, but inside the library something vaster ignited, a spark invisible to others, a contract older than parchment, one soul recognizing another's potential, or perhaps its profit. Days bled into weeks, and hunger, that undefeated adversary, remained. They shared half-sandwiches so thin they were almost metaphors. Their laughter echoed between dusty stacks, turning the mausoleum of broken finals into a cathedral of possibility. One drizzling Friday, Amara recited her mother's mantra, "Love is beautiful, but knowledge is survival. Never walk into war wearing only love." The line landed on Daniel's heart like a stone in a pond, ripples of curiosity and caution. They huddled over spreadsheets, legal treatises, and futuristic scribbles that looked like fractal art. Daniel joked that Amara's brain ran on nuclear fusion. She retorted that his charm ran on fumes. But beneath the banter, an alloy formed, ambition welded to admiration. It happened at 2:14 a.m. on a rain-soused Saturday. Amara slashed neon markers across a whiteboard, real-time AI forecasting plus African mid-market supply chains equals Nexus dynamics. Her handwriting tilted uphill, as if refusing gravity. Daniel paced, phone calculator glowing like a firefly. Numbers danced. He saw profits, she saw possibilities, reduced food waste, locally sourced parts delivered on time, farmers paid fairly. Lightning illuminated their silhouettes against dusty glass. In that electric strobe, two dreamers looked heroic, mythic, unstoppable. By sunrise, business plans that would one day feed cities lay pooled on the linoleum floor, still damp with coffee rings and promise. Rise of the Phoenix. Graduation, black robes, white smiles, parents proud. Months later, wedding, ivory lace, gold vows, newsprint headlines. University sweethearts launch tech startup. Investors, charmed by Daniel's magnetic pitches, opened wallets. Nexus dynamics grew like bamboo, silent nights visible inches by dawn. Warehouses integrated her predictive software, logistics directors toasted to savings, Daniel graced magazine covers labeled "The Visionary CEO." Meanwhile Amara, tucked in server rooms aglow with cobalt LEDs, debugged code at 3 a.m. She stitched algorithmic wings onto spreadsheets, ensuring that every decision soared above guesswork. Often, she reminded herself she loved anonymity. Product, not applause, fueled her. Or so she thought. Little glitches crept in. Amara arrived for a Monday board meeting. Agenda had been updated to exclude her. IT locked her email by accident. Daniel waved it off. Infrastructure refresh, honey, bureaucracy bites. She signed thick packets titled Routine Restructuring, Daniel's lawyer smiling too widely. He pressed a kiss to her forehead. She pressed pen to dotted line. Ink dried. Ownership wept. At night she whispered into darkness, "Why does love feel like paperwork now?" No answer, only the hum of HVAC sounding suspiciously like a warning siren. The mansion's terrace overlooked Lagos Lagoon glittering under moon shards. Daniel sipped 12-year scotch, flicked ash from a Cuban cigar, and delivered the coup. "Amara, brilliance can't buy loyalty. I'm divorcing you. Nexus? Entirely mine. Lawyers too expensive for you, accept a settlement, live comfortably." The words skinned her soul. Memory flashed, her mother braiding her hair, whispering knowledge is armor. Another flash, lecture halls, empty stomachs, half sandwiches funding dreams. One more, her signature, on documents she hadn't read. Amara's pulse slowed, not from resignation but from calculation. She measured distance to door, weight of betrayal, tensile strength of intellect. She inhaled. Exhaled. "Thank you for clarifying," she said, voice smooth as oiled steel. She turned, left him alone with his victory glass clinking like a premature funeral bell. 3 days in a modest apartment scented with copier toner and instant noodles, Amara resurrected her war self. She stacked Daniela's routine contracts beside the original partnership template she'd drafted years ago. Under UV lamplight she marked discrepancies, each clause a loaded bullet he'd fired into their vows. She reread mother's letters, lines of Igbo proverbs about knotted trees surviving storms. Each proverb felt like a grip on her spine, straightening, steadying. At 4 a.m. she opened old banking portals, discovered transfers camouflaged as marketing consulting, all funneling cash to an account labeled Zenith VIP Mist. She cross-checked. Flights to Seychelles, jewelry purchases, 5-star suites. Proof. Motive. Pattern. She built a coalition quietly. Joy, the junior developer whom Daniel had called replaceable, still revered Amara as mentor. Joy produced Slack logs, Amara's 2 a.m. directives crafting the algorithm's backbone. Mr. Adeyemi, once warehouse foreman, provided time-stamped footage of Amara training staff. An ex-intern uncovered an email thread, from year 1, where Daniel typed, "Not sure how AI works, ask Amara." Each ally delivered evidentiary bricks, Amara mortared them into an ironclad wall. She practiced courtroom statements in front of cracked mirrors. She taught herself to lower her chin for gravity, lift her gaze for grace, modulate voice for thunder. High court, air conditioner humming like a trapped insect. Cameras flashed. Bloggers caffeinated on scandal. Daniel arrived in bespoke navy suit, Rolex winking. Beside him, senior counsel Ajayi, expensive as guilt, twice as sharp. Opening arguments. Ajayi painted Daniel as genius, Amara as sentimental ex-wife seeking payout. Jurors penned scribbled sympathy lines. Then Amara rose. No theatrics, only calm. She produced the original whiteboard photo, AI supply chain formula written in neon pink, her handwriting unmistakable. She submitted Git commits with her username logged at ungodly hours. She read Slack excerpts where Daniel begged for dumbed-down explanations. Each exhibit struck like a cathedral bell. Jurors flinched, Daniel paled. When Amara revealed the Seychelles expense report, company card paying for diamonds inscribed, "Forever yours, M," gasp rippled across pews. Cross-examination turned brutal. Ajayi asked if Amara might be exaggerating her role. She smiled gently, "Sir, code is incapable of romance. Repository logs will testify." When repository logs projected onto a wall, Daniel's contributions measured 5%, mostly variable name changes and comments like, "to do, fix later." Laughter, muffled but deadly. Ajayi regrouped, but momentum had shifted. Even the judge leaned forward, fascination trumping fatigue. Daniel's smirk collapsed, replaced by tremor beneath his eye. Gavel echoed like thunder once again, but this time it birthed rainbows. Contracts obtained under deceit are null. Nexus Dynamics ownership reverts to equal partnership. Mr. Alumide shall reimburse misappropriated funds with 10% penalty. Court costs fall solely to the defendant. Daniel wilted. Cameras captured the precise frame where arrogance converted to anguish. The internet later memed it as "when karma hits HD." Reporters flooded Amara with microphones. She merely bowed her head. "Justice is never about applause," she said. "It's about restoring truth to its rightful owner." Sunrise over the lagoon painted pewter waves gold. Amara stood on Nexus's rooftop terrace. The company's nameplate now bore Amara O, engraved in brushed steel. She inhaled briny promise. Employees gathered spontaneously, applauding not the spectacle but the restoration. Joy wept openly. Mr. Adeyemi raised a fist. Amara thanked them, not with flourish but with a plan. Version 2.0 of our platform will cut shipping waste another 15%. Let's write code that feeds nations. That night, alone, she opened her mother's final letter, one she'd never dared read. It ended, "When the world tells you your mind is too bright, remember stars burn so crops may grow. Shine, but also feed." She kissed the signature, folded the letter, placed it next to the original neon marker, now framed. Then she stepped into her office, lights clicking on one by one, not unlike galaxies answering roll call. Dear family, may Amara's journey remind you that love nourishes hearts yet knowledge shields destinies. Build your dreams on pillars of wisdom, and should betrayal visit, stand firm. Truth has the patience of mountains. Until our next story, remain blessed, remain courageous, and remember, no one can erase a name etched by its own brilliance. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video.